okay, I need to show them with this first song and this first video, like, this is me as an artist. Like, yeah, I'm Red, but I'm also Kylie Cantrall, the artist.
I've never had someone actually prefer Twizzlers.
Okay, this is because everyone hates on Twizzlers, and I'm so aware of this, guys.
Yeah.
I know it tastes like plastic, and I've come to terms with that, but I think what it is for me is I have such like an emotional attachment to Twizzlers because like my dad and I, my earliest memories of like going to the theater, my dad was just like super hip to Twizzlers and like put me onto it and made me think it was like the best thing ever. Twizzlers is like my comfort snack now.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
But it does taste like plastic.
I'm such an Aquarius though. I love when someone's like contrarian and they like the thing no one else likes. And I'm like, you know what? Like I kind of respect that.
Yeah, there's something just so comforting about a Twizzler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it does kind of taste like plastic. I don't know. I'm sorry, Twizzlers.
It's okay.
You mentioned that you're from LA and your upbringing. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, I grew up here in LA. Which we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
So rare.
So rare to meet someone from LA. Like when I met you, I'm like, oh my God, another like LA native.
I think it's because like this is like the mecca of like
the
industry. Like this is people's final destination.
Yes.
They're like, okay, I'm going to leave my like middle of nowhere town,
Yes.
go to LA, make my dreams come true.
And I feel lucky to live somewhere that people move here to try and make it. Like I'm not like jaded, like, oh, stop coming here. I'm like, no, I think it's cool that like people move here every day.
It's like I feel like I'll stay here forever.
Yeah. I remember growing up, I wanted to move to a small town because I thought that was cool. Like I saw the Hannah Montana movie and she went to like Tennessee and I was like, I want to do that.
What's that one
With
called?
the guy. I think it's just like the Hannah Montana movie.
That.
She like fell in love with like a cowboy guy.
So depressing.
Yeah.
And remember there's like this whole plot line of like she has to save these turtles that are like, do you remember
Was that on the show or in the movie?
In the movie.
Oh.
And then like her dad dies. It's so depressing.
The Hannah Montana movie?
Yeah. Wait, isn't this the one where she's like a country girl and
I remember in the movie she like reveals to a town at like a fair that she's Hannah Montana and then they all like kept the secret.
Oh wait, this is fully a different movie.
So your upbringing in LA, were you kind of in the entertainment industry? Is it something your parents were doing or were you the first one to step into it?
Yeah, so both of my parents are in the industry. My dad's a songwriter and producer.
Oh my God, which I thought her dad was the intern. But yes.
She saw my dad, she was like, are you Kylie's intern? Humble him, Coco. Yeah. So I was pretty much like a studio rat from age like 3 years old. I would be like dragged to his recording sessions and it was just such a cool upbringing and I think I appreciate it so much looking back. Like I was just completely immersed in studio life and you know I was going to the studio and it was like multiple rooms and there would be all these different musicians and producers in these different rooms and I would like post up in the lobby and I'd be doing my homework next to like an A&R at a label and they'd be talking about like the Billboard charts and like what's charting right now and then I'd go into another room and someone's working on like a Rihanna pitch record and I like had this thing where I would go into each room when I was like in, you know, elementary school and like I would have each producer like help me with like 2 answers of homework.
Oh my God.
But that just was my life and like I remember having such early memories of like, you know, my dad would be writing songs with like different writers and I was seeing how songs were made. He, like from top to bottom, he would spend days on the same song, you know, reworking the hook, reworking the pre-chorus. I remember like leaving the room and like writing songs in my little journal, my little like Zendaya Shake It Up journal. And being like, how are you still on the same song? I wrote like 3 songs in the lobby. Yes. Like, I'm ready to go in the vocal booth.
Did you ever think like, oh, I'm going to be the actor? My dad was the music person.
No, music was always my number one.
Okay.
I always knew I would be an artist.
Okay, wow.
That was my number one. I was such a Disney kid. I, you know, have the earliest memories of watching Zendaya on Shake It Up and Selena on Wizards and being like, I want to like be that. You know, that was my biggest aspiration, to be an artist first. And, you know, I started dancing pretty much when I was 2 years old. My parents tell me this story of being 1.5 and no dance studio would take me because I wasn't even potty trained.
Oh my God. You're like,
girl, what are you doing here? So I think on my 2nd birthday, I got potty trained and literally the day after my birthday party, I was in the dance studio.
Wow. I'm obsessed with this thing like Hollywood hair theory. Like people, like when they have a certain look with their hair, it's kind of when they become more memorable and stand out. you have like the red streaks in your hair. Sometimes it's like pink. Was that when you were on Descendants that became a thing? Was it like a decision that they made and then you just stuck with it, or?
I totally believe in the hair theory, by the way. I love your videos talking about this because it's so true. I remember like being so young, like 10 years old, and being like, I have to, like, I remember telling my dad, I have to like shave my head or like do something with my hair because that's the only way I'm gonna be a superstar. Like all the superstars have, you're able to go as them for Halloween. Michael Jackson and like Janet and Beyonce and like all of these artists, they have such a look, and I think so much of it is the hair, and that's always something I've known and have been cognizant of. But yeah, with Descendants, like they originally, I remember, I don't know what my hair was at that point. I think I had just dyed it back to black.
Okay.
And they were like, for the wig, it might be better for you to like blend in the baby hairs if you dye it red too. But they were like, you don't have to, like it was an option. I was like, hell yeah, any excuse to dye my hair. So I did like the money pieces red, and then they ended up putting my hair in a wig cap.
Oh my God. When you were at Disney, something I'm fascinated by is like, I feel like they're like the boot camp for now decades of launching these new artists as they go into adulthood. Is there anything that you take like on a daily basis where you're like, I remember one day on set, like they said this, or?
Well, I think, yeah, you're so right. I think to be able to function in this kind of system where you're working these long hours every day, you're around all adults, and you're really carrying a set, especially as like, you know, the lead, I think there is such a weight to that and such a responsibility that I booked my first show when I was 12 years old, Gabby Duran, and I was the lead. And that was really like a moment that I was like, oh, wow, this is a lot of responsibility. I'm so aware of the impact I have on everyone on set. And I'm ready to step up to that challenge. And I think so much of my readiness for taking on something like that at such a young age was the fact that I came from dance. And I was so built for that level of pressure because I had been doing, you know, the competitions and just the scrutiny that you have being a dancer of like, if you're not the best, you're pushed to the back. And like my dance teachers growing up were so hard on me. Even my mom, like she was so hard on me. She would make me do like the craziest stretches every day of like, if my leg wasn't touching my nose, like she was like, you're gonna get pushed to the back of the routine. Like you have to be the most flexible, you have to be amazing. I think just like that level of discipline I had growing up all my life made me so ready to function under, you know, this level of pressure.
That like competitive edge that I feel is something you have to like grow to love. Like for me, I did all-star cheer growing up and I loved it. I think it helps me in my career because I'm like, it kind of, one, teaches you to be on a team, when to carry the spotlight, and then like kind of have to love the game. Like even when you're losing, you have to love it so much that you just like keep showing up and like keep wanting it. Obviously you have fans that are like so young. Do you see it as two separate audiences, the EP that's more mature and then your Disney, or do you feel like you're trying to bridge kind of the audience that's like the young Descendant fans into your music?
I think I'm definitely trying to bridge the gap, and I think I made a promise to myself very early on in my music career of like, I'm always going to stay true to who I am in this moment, in this chapter of whatever that may be. If I feel like putting out a song that, you know, is a bit more mature like Denim or Goodie Bag, like that has a bit of like an innuendo to it. Like, sure, I'm 19 years old. I want my music to reflect who I am in an authentic way. I don't want it to feel like I'm putting out like a version of myself that doesn't feel real. It's so special because it feels like the most perfect like representation of the kind of artist I am and I want to be, and it really lays the groundwork for kind of how I see myself and how I see my sound kind of going throughout my career. And yeah, I feel like my earliest influences of like Brandy and Aaliyah and TLC and Britney, Janet, like those all played such a part in me, you know, eventually creating this EP that has been in the works for like years, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the difference in a creative process for making a song like Red for Descendants versus putting out your own song like Boy for a Day or Denim? The Disney one has more hands on it, or like is it like two different kind of cycles?
I think that's probably the biggest difference between acting and music. And what I love about music is the fact that it is all completely 100% me. I'm my own creative director. I'm writing my songs. I'm vocal producing myself. Like, these are all aspects that I touch every single area. Whereas in acting, I'm very much just here to like facilitate this role and to, you know, play this part, but everything else is pretty much decided for me. And like with Red, of course I was able to like add my like steez to it in the vocal booth and like, but you know, the song was already pre-written. You have to shift gears so much because the two worlds are so different. But it was really interesting with Red because that was such a viral moment. I don't think I was prepared. Like, I don't think I knew it would be as big as it was, but that's what made me so excited to put out Boy for a Day, because that was my debut after Red, after I had this, you know, all these eyeballs on me. So I felt like, okay, I need to show them with this first song and this first video. Like, this is me as an artist. Like, I'm Red, but I'm also Kylie Cantrall, the artist. And that's like number one for me.
Getting into the music videos. So we started by watching Denim, which you told me you did the treatment for?
Yeah.
Wow. And so for anyone who doesn't know, I learned that word a few interviews ago talking to Hannah Lex Davis, but it's like where you kind of come up with the concept and the pitch, which sometimes like the directors or they outsource it. But it's cool to know that you were the one doing that.
I've always like, I think that is like the coolest and hardest part about being an artist is like, you have to be in charge of every aspect. And I mean, I guess you don't have to, but the kind of artist that I am, I'm very much heavily involved in every single part of it. And that comes with the music videos. And it's so exciting to me because like music videos were the reason I wanted to become an artist. When I saw like Beyonce Crazy in Love, when I saw Janet Rhythm Nation, like it was those videos that I was like, wow, this is exactly what I want to do. It's such a visual song with the concept denim, hands on me, want to feel my denim. Like I knew I would be in all denim. It just gave like fun summertime. The girls are kikiing out front of a convenience store. And it's in LA, it's hot, it's sweaty. And like, I think that really came across. I'm also an LA girl.
LA in the best way is like the home of like strip malls and like you'll find the best food and like those like, you know what I mean? Like
hole in the
like
wall places.
Yes, like there's like the parking lot outside, which you guys were like doing some of the scenes in, and then you're in the store. Like that's very LA to have that. And then the outfit. So that first outfit was like so insane. And you said that you had kind of come up with a design and then they created it for you?
Yeah, so I designed all my looks in the denim video, and I have like an incredible team that I work with, this designer duo. They're called Freak City. They're amazing, but they, my girl Valley, she like cut and sewed all the looks and made them come to life. And I kind of like told her my vision. I gave her like my sketch that was like so messy, and I'm like the worst artist, so it's like hard to like see the vision, but she just gets it, and she was able to make it come to life. And I feel like I've really gotten to a place with like my style and my image where I'm like, okay, this is the vibe. Really leaning into, you know, the parts of myself that I love, which is like, I love kind of tapping into this Bratz doll aesthetic.
You had a lot of cameos. You said it was like a send off because you were about to go to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me about that?
It was like a little going away party. I literally filmed the music video the day before I left to go film Descendants 5.
Wow.
So just pure chaos, like the next day me trying to pack for like leaving for 3.5 months. Kind of crazy. But yeah, I got all my friends to pull up. I just told them like, show up in denim, look cute.
My God.
All my friends are very, very just like down and the cutest ever. So I was so happy that they all pulled up, because it's also like a little like time capsule of like, like my friendships, and that means so much to me. So it was cool to have them a part of it.
Yes. And who were some of the cameos? It was like McKenna Grace.
Yeah, McKenna Grace, Giannina, who I've known forever, Dior Good John from Percy Jackson, Malachi, who's in the new Zombies. It's really cool. It feels like a high school, like this Disney kind of young actor world. We all know each other and we're all friends, and we all are very supportive of each other. And I think that's such a cool thing about like the culture in LA and the industry. I feel like we're all very, very like much cheering each other on. And
Yeah.
I think this video is definitely a testament to that.
And you said that at one point there's an Easter egg to Disney. Mm-hmm. And what was that?
The little Mickey like popsicle that I pull. It's like this joke with like my cuties, which is like my fan base, of like how Mickey's always out to get me because like, you know, I'm like throwing a little bit of like something or whatever in the choreo, which I know is not always like the most typical Disney friendly, but I love Mickey.
I love the transition between Denim and Goodie Bag. And then, but Boy for a Day is my favorite song on the EP. Aww. You said that was another like 20-hour day.
Yeah, that was a long video shoot, 6 looks too.
Oh my God.
Which I think people...
you don't think it's hard.
They don't know, like those outfit changes and also hair changes, makeup changes, like it's real. Like,
and you're like sweaty.
Hustling.
Yeah.
It was a grind, that one. But it really like came out exactly how I pictured. I remember when I did the treatment for Boy for a Day, that was like one of the things that I had in like the original treatment. I was like, I need to be in a classic like guy's bathroom that's like the most simplistic, open a drawer, there's toothpaste and a 15-in-1. Like, but I love that video so much. I think it really is such a cool representation of who I am as an artist as far as like really showcasing my dance. I referenced a lot of like Sierra's Like a Boy video and J-Lo's Get Right. Huge inspirations to me. Yeah. It feels like a video that my 8-year-old self would have been obsessed with.
Even like the spotlights, it is very like the early 2000s TRL. Like
totally.
So you had another Easter egg in that music video. Not Disney, but it was you?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it?
So it's like I have this like little inside joke with my cuties where I like have this. It was created like during Boy for a Day.
Okay.
In one of the videos I posted to the song, it was like me using that Snapchat filter, which is like the guy filter. Yes. And I created this male alter ego, which is named Kyle. And then Kyle is really like the encapsulation of like the dude I'm describing in Boy for a Day, like ultimate douche, like gym bro, like texts you to pull up to his house at 11 p.m. and like ghosts you all day.
Yes.
Like,
what did that feel like doing the follow-up to Red?
Yeah, Boy for a Day was really like my debut as Kylie the artist aside from Red. This was the first single off of this project. So I knew I had to make a splash, especially because of how big Red was. And I wanted to kind of define the difference between me as the character and then here's me as Kylie the artist.
And then one of the songs on your EP is Raised by Rihanna. Yeah. And so what was your decision to use her for that?
Well, I remember I had like my go-to karaoke song when I was younger, probably around like 4 or 5 years old. Well, I had this era where, you know, my parents talk about it all the time of like, it makes so much sense that you're a performer now. Like, this is what the shit you did when you were growing up. I would make them, when they got home from work, I would make them sit down on the couch and we would play American Idol. So they would like write up these little tickets of like the Hollywood ticket. Yeah. And I would perform for them. And I remember performing Rihanna like all the time, every night. Like I was obsessed with her. And I remember I would sing, "Please don't stop the music."
Oh my God.
Couldn't pronounce music. So I was a little 5-year-old in my Rihanna bag. Please don't stop the music. Yes. And, you know, I would make my parents like critique me and I would like have outfit changes and like full choreo, just like putting on a show as if I was performing at Crypto. Like,
oh my God.
In my mind, I was performing at Crypto.
Before we get into your astrology, which is the last thing, is there anything about this chapter that you want to tell fans, maybe that are like diehard fans and have been watching it evolve? Is there anything they might not see the first few times watching the music videos, or any sort of like messaging that's coming out that you would want to go through the camera and tell them, like, go back and watch it, but think about it this way?
Ooh, I love that. I think in terms of like the EP, I put so much thought into all the details and like you were saying, the transitions.
Yeah.
That
like
when
you guys listened to the Denim to the Goodie Bag transition.
Coco asked me, she was like, "Was that on purpose?" It's like, girl, yes. It's all very much thought out. And I think like when I think of my music and when people ask me like, how would you describe it? I always say like, I think my music is like arena music.
Okay.
Like I want to make music that feels timeless and that feels like it could reach you know, the nosebleeds in an arena, and it's meant to be played on in that scale. And you know, like the intro of the EP, it's like this hype man being like, I need you to get up on your seats, give it up for Kylie Cantrall. And like, you
even
know,
like the outro, I feel like it's like the arena.
Like,
yes.
I like my dad and I, because he was helping out with like some of my production in the EP, and I just kept telling him like, we need more applause. Like I want the cheering to be even louder. It's just so hype.
Yeah.
And we referenced a lot of like Janet and like New Edition, the Heartbreak album, like how they had like the applause and the intro and the outro and the interludes and everything. It just means so much.
Yeah.
And it gives you the feeling of being at the concert. So I'm going to be playing these songs at Madison Square Garden Crypto this summer. I'm going on tour, the Worlds Collide tour. You guys better be there. But
oh my God.
even if people can't make the tour, at least like
they can listen to it.
Gives it that feeling.
So the single that you've been promoting most recently is See You Tonight with the Eyelet Girls. Can you tell me a little about that?
It's such a special song. My cuties know, my day one cuties know that I teased it like 2 years ago.
And where do you tease these? Like on Snapchat
TikTok.
Stories? Okay, TikTok. Okay.
Yeah. And it was originally Link Up Tonight instead of See You Tonight. Like the song has been through, it's morphed into so many things because I never felt like I truly cracked it. It's a sample of like an old Lisa song.
Oh wow.
And also like Black Eyed Peas sampled it again. I love a good sample.
You do your homework, like you know.
Yes, I really do.
Impressive.
I do my homework. So after like going back in on it and like really trying to crack it, I was like, you know, maybe I'm just like, it needs to be simplified. So it ended up just being changed to I Want to See You Tonight.
Yeah.
And I love how it turned out, and it got to the Eyelet Girls.
Yeah.
And I had been obsessed with them.
Wow.
I love K-pop.
Yeah.
I'm such a just lover of just what they do and how much attention they put into the dance and the visuals and just their artistry. It was so inspiring, and yeah, they loved the song.
Wow.
They hopped on the verse and on the chorus. And we shot this music video from like across the globe. The girls were in Korea. I was in Vancouver filming. I feel like it's the perfect opener for the EP.
Yeah. Your knowledge of artists that I feel like you're so young, like I think we're maybe like 10 years apart, but you know artists that even I'm like, oh, maybe they were before my time, like New Edition, but like you really have like done your homework and really do seem to like love the game. Like you just love being a part of it. Last question I ask everyone is, do you know your sun, moon, and rising?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm an astrology girl. Coco.
Okay, yeah, we were bonding over. Okay, I'm glad. I'm so glad.
And I feel like this might shock you.
Okay.
So my sun is Cancer.
Okay, so water sign. Wow.
And then my moon is Aquarius.
Really? Oh my God. Okay.
And then my rising is Libra.
Libra rising. Okay, well, Libra risings are always like really beautiful and aesthetically. So, and then Aquarius moon. I'm an Aquarius sun, so I think you usually get along with people that are like the big three of your sign.
My best friend is Aquarius and my mom too.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So Aquarius moon is me. And I always have to preface when I do this part of the interview, I'm like, I'm not an astrology expert. There's people smarter, but I do love just talking about this.
Yeah, no, I'd love to hear your take.
Yes. The Aquarius moon is someone who can like, Aquarius is the sign that's like removed. They see things from a bird's eye view. So that means like you might see things from, like you might be working on projects and you maybe see like 5 years down the line, where other people, the way they operate is like 5 days out, 5 weeks out. But like you might see things more from a bird's eye view.
Future oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sense. What about like my Cancer?
Your Cancer. Well, Cancers are, any water sign is usually artistic.
Yeah.
And then Cancers are the sign that rules the home, motherhood, so very like the feminine energy. That would make sense that you, the way you started out is you have like a younger audience, like you maybe feel like a mother to your fans in a way.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wait,
so it's that Cancer sign. Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Really?
I feel
okay,
like
yeah.
I've always been obsessed with the idea of being a big sister.
Yeah, that's
and I
probably
don't
where,
have siblings, but I do see like my cuties, I see them as that.
Yes, whereas others might sometimes see their fans as their contemporaries, like you take a more mothering role. And so throughout your career, you'll probably have fans that are like slightly younger than you, but you feel that kind of protective energy over them. That's probably the Cancer.
That's so sweet.